everyone. So I wanted to do a video today on your next 6 months. What do we see that you can look forward to? What's going to happen? Just kind of what kind of information comes through. So I have 3 different potatoes. Why I chose potatoes, I could come up with a reason, like it's underneath the soil, and you don't really know the growth of it until you dig your hand in there and yank it out. But in truth, I just wanted to use potatoes. I mean, we use cards. Why can't we use a potato, right? So I want you to meditate on each potato. I'll do like another screen grab if you want to do that and really look at the potato. But this is potato number 1, potato number 2, and potato number 3. All right, bye. Hi, potato number 1. So this is the potato that you chose. And I'm looking at this potato, and the first thing I notice is this little extra exterior right here. And as I touched it, I thought that it was peeling, right? But it's not. I don't know if this is attached from another potato. But I feel like there's some sort of attachment, okay? Like this, okay, I'm gonna take it, I don't even feel like I want to take it off. It's some sort of attachment. The attachment feels like a memory, okay? And it's connected to someone else. So it's like you are helping someone else with some attachment on them. So you're helping someone heal. You're not helping them heal, you're helping them cope with some sort of significant attachment. It feels like it's a major part of them. So this can be seen as maybe like, for example, I'm seeing a tumor on someone. So it's connected to them, right? It's not who they are, but it's some product of them in some way, of something that's gone awry internally to create the tumor, or to overproduction of something to create the tumor. I can also see this as an animal or a child. It's like you're volunteering or helping in something that has to do with something that's beyond this other person's control. They can't control the production of a tumor cell, right? They're not in control of that without some sort of other intervention. So you're intervening in some way. You're not stopping it, but you're helping. And I notice this looks like an eye right here. And when I look at the eye, it feels like it's in pain. So it seems like the overall theme that I'm getting here for your next 6 months is some sort of work towards assisting or highlighting or identifying some sort of person or group of people or animals that have something beyond their control that you're pointing out to help them in some way. So this can even go into the realm of discrimination. So if you're helping people that are part of some group or identity that are receiving some sort of discrimination, then you're empathizing with them and you're recognizing this and you're helping them in some way. That's the biggest theme for your next 6 months. And that bleeds into all other elements of things that are happening for you in the next 6 months. And I'm looking at these roots that are here. It feels like they're growing, like these growing roots. And I take this as hair, like you're growing your hair out or you're taking care of your hair, taking better care of your hair. You're doing something different to change your style. It feels like the way that you represent yourself is different than how you've been presenting yourself the past several years. There's a big change in that because you're starting to identify yourself with whatever work that I was describing. And in turn, that changes the way that you present yourself externally. And they're also showing me like Men in Black, like a spy, or they're wanting me to stop right there. And they're saying, listen why you said that, who you said, like Men in Black, but then they're switching it over to like Alf or E.T., where that family protected the aliens. So again, it's this protective energy. So you being, they're highlighting the fact that I said Men in Black because they were some sort of professionals, right, that are seeking out these helpless beings, these alien beings. I've actually never seen Men in Black, but that's what I assume they are. Is that the one where they have guns, or is that Mars or something? Isn't Will Smith in it and he like shoots aliens? Am I mixing movies up? I don't know. Does he have the laser? I haven't seen so the thing where they say like the red pill and the blue pill. I haven't seen that either. Matrix. Maybe I'm mixing them all together. I'm not sure. But either way, they're pointing that out because they're saying how there's this organization of people who are seeking out to harm some other groups of individuals, and you see how they're alien, they're foreign in some way. They're foreign from the public, the masses, right? So animals are kind of, they're the minority. Children are the minority. certain races or like sexual orientation, like all those minorities. So you're empathizing somehow with some minority group, and you're changing the way that you present yourself because there's a shift inside of you that just kind of makes you realize that the way that you, like, let's say you're just changing the way that you style your hair or the way that you dress, something just like that, then it's because you're seeing yourself differently. And so you feel like you want a refresh, a wardrobe refresh, a hair refresh. Or if you're, you know, exercising more, it's like you want to be, it's very much highlighted on the fact of how you're representing yourself, you know, because with working out, of course, you want to be healthy, but that's not the predominant feeling that I'm getting. It has something to do with the way that you present yourself. You're working with a lot of people, just like with Men in Black. There's a lot of them in there, I assume. I mean, it's men, so there's more than one man. And so I'm just noticing all these little dots on here. So it feels like there's a lot of you. There's a lot of you in this organization, or let's say that you're protesting for animal rights. It's like a lot of protesters, right? Because I'm seeing, they're showing me that one actress. I don't remember who it is. She's really cute. She's a really pretty girl. And I think she protested about dolphins or something. But I'm just seeing that image of this pretty woman protesting for dolphins, if that's a specific message for you or not. Okay. I do want to say, for someone, you're finding the love of your life, or you're deepening the love with the love of your life. And then I'm hearing the song in the Cats musical, Memories. And it's a love. It's a memories of love. And then they're tying me to Breakfast at Tiffany's. I haven't seen that either, but I've seen Cats. Okay, I have seen Cats. But Breakfast at Tiffany's, and they have Moon River. I want to say Audrey, whatever her name is, Hepburn. She sang the song, I assume. I don't know if she's a singer or just an actress, but I'm hearing the Frank Sinatra song, Moon River, and they're tying me with memories of Moon River because they're saying how they're highlighting a lot of different things, actually. They're highlighting like the faculties shutting down. So like with dementia, Alzheimer's, and how music often can spur the memory to function again, right? That's something that is one of the last things, if anything, to lose from people who are suffering from these kinds of things. So that might also be indicative of something that you're helping with, or you're helping someone who is losing their faculties. But also, they're tying it to how there's a memory associated with love, and it's a nostalgia. It's a feeling of nostalgia, and this desire to return to simpler times, and recognizing how on your path of life, how you may have taken a different direction than someone that was important to you in your life, whether this is, it feels more of like a friend, like a very, very good friend, or a best friend, where you went separate ways, and there's that recognition that you're both going after the same things in life, right? Because in Moon River, they talk about like the end of the rainbow, and how they're both chasing the rainbow, or like the end of it, or something like that. And so it's like we're going towards the same things, but we're taking two different paths. Like we desire the same thing, and I have such a soulful, deep, loving connection to you. And I don't know if we'll ever reconnect because of the distance and the different ways in which we are pursuing the rainbow, right? So they're kind of showing me the rainbow and how one person goes to one end, another person goes on to the other end of the rainbow. Two opposites, but still the same. And there's this loving sincerity when it comes to that. And they're highlighting this because that's a good representation of unconditional love. And so you're coming into a place these next 6 months of recognizing how you can and how you have and how you've come into unconditionally loving another person because of the fact that you're allowing them to go their route and you go to your route of the rainbow, and kind of just accepting the way in which the current kind of drives you to that, right, along the river. And knowing that one day you will reunite with them. One day you will be with them again. One day you will kind of see the I heard like the bigger picture, but then I heard bigger picture, and then I heard endlessness, like endlessness picture, where they're showing, and then when I heard the word picture, then it pulled me out and saw the river, and they're showing me how you're going one way, another person going one way, and then the ripples converge. And they say, you know, how in the stillness of a river, or stillness of a pond or whatever, that the ripples will carry further than it is in something that's more rapid. So the more still, the more meditative, the more calm, the more peaceful, the more accepting you are of these conditions, the more that these ripples will connect. In meditation, they're saying too, this is highlighting in meditation and telepathy, because it goes further and reaches each other a lot more profound, right? So it's carrying that wake. And they're showing me how like a big wake on a still river, and how that can capsize a smaller boat, because, and when it's further away, and as opposed to rolling rapids, because there's not a lot of interception there. So there's a message there about that happening for you. There's a lot of integrity that's coming from you in these next 6 months. And it feels like a lot of honesty, integrity, and artistic expression. So it's the way that you're kind of revealing some truth. You're revealing a lot of truths, and you're coming from a place of truth. And that, again, like what I was saying with highlighting, highlighting the community that you're working with, and highlighting the help that you're giving out, that comes from a really honest place. And they're bringing back again the way that you are dressing, or the way that you're carrying yourself, or the way that your hair is, because it feels like the more that you're working on this collaboration, these meetings, whatever it is, the more that it compartmentalizes like your physical body somehow. It's like you put all your focus, your heart, and your soul into this thing, that you can clearly see yourself in your physical form better than you had previously. So then it's like you're better understanding how to dress for your body type, or you're better understanding you're seeing yourself almost disassociated. Like you can, like, and by that I mean like you're just really seeing you physically. You're seeing you in a way you haven't seen yourself prior to this. It's almost like prior to this you were kind of connecting yourself to how you've been, and it feels very just routine. And so this has knocked you out of your routine, and just it's just changing you. It's changing you. And I can actually connect that of how that two different like compartmentalization of your physical and what you're working on, and how that's separate now, how you're also viewing people differently. It's like you're seeing people like the polarity. It's almost like you even discerning between who's someone that has like bad intentions or someone who's like not a sincere person or just not a good person. Like how they're treating people is not very good. You're seeing that more clearly. You know, it's like the wool has been pulled off over you. That's what it's saying. They're pulled off of you. It's like you're seeing something differently. It's as if once you started working with this, okay, here's another example I can give you. Is like if you're working in child protective services, and prior to that, and you just kind of got volunteered into it, right? Or this is just my example. So you didn't have any prior background to it. And so once you're working with it, you're seeing the mistreatment, or you're seeing the signs, or you're seeing the negative effects that happen, or like being a foster parent. So we're going to stick to child protective, okay? And then now it's like when you go out into the world, you can better identify those warning signs. You can identify kind of how that interaction an abusive parent has towards a child affects them more intimately, because you don't have children yourself, whatever, right? So it's making you more attuned to people in public of something that you weren't becoming an expert in prior. Because that's what it feels like. You're becoming more of an expert. Your expertise is evolving in this particular field that you haven't been doing prior to this. It brings me back. There's something tied deeply to a memory, okay? Because they're bringing me back to the cats and the breakfast at Tiffany's, and then they're giving me a smell, and they're reminding me of how smells are really tied to your memory. And so they're saying there is a dual part. One where they're saying it's connected to what I was saying with music and smell. So this can help someone if you're helping an individual who needs care, like elderly care, something like that. Or if someone's sick, you know, and so you can let them smell something that smells really good that might be tied to a memory that will help them, you know, mentally feel better. But they're also saying a past life memory. So you're going to smell something that's going to trigger deja vu. And this is supposed to be connected to a past life. And they're telling me to tell you that when that happens, that day, they would most preferably in that moment Get yourself into a comfortable place and meditate. And go there. Tell yourself to go there. So close your eyes, take deep breaths. Again, let that energy as you inhale flow up through your spine, and as you exhale, you can feel yourself moving closer to your past life and further away from the external distractions of this world. There's a bird that just flew down. A dove. Little dove. Okay. And connect to that past life and find out what is there. What is calling you? Why is that parallel there, right? Because it wasn't by chance. It wasn't by chance that you smelled this particular thing and got deja vu. This could be from your past childhood, but I'm specifically saying a past life. But you can just say past, like intentionally go to the past and where it began, where this smell began. That's what you can meditate on. Where did I first smell this smell? Because maybe in the childhood, or maybe that childhood memory is connected to a past life memory. Where is it? Where's the origin of it? And then discover why that's being brought up. Why is that memory being stirred up? What is it that you can learn from that? What value does that hold? Because again, there's some reason that there's some parallel to you coming up to that moment again. Okay. I feel like that's going to be closer to like the next several months. So maybe like 2, 3, 4 months is when it's going to happen. But it's this building energy that's going to be developing for you prior to that, like from now until then. See, 6 of Cups. And I'm seeing this too. This is very childish to me because it's like the dandelion and wishing on a dandelion. That's what I saw. I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay. Release the old and rest. Again, it's something to do with your past. That's very important here. I'll tell you what I have. I don't want to pull it back up, but we have make plans and focus, shed your old skin, which here's, be the light, be open to healing information, surround yourself with protective energy. There's a big stop right here. I'm going to put that on your potato. 6 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. Don't worry about the actual cards. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is, but that's not how I read. At least that's not how I'm reading now. I'm not even really, it honestly is just repeating what I had just said. So I really didn't need to pull cards. But we're gonna look at it anyway because I said so because I want to. I'm seeing a dog though. I'm seeing, what are those, like pugs? I'm seeing a pug. Puggle. Is that what are they called? Puggles or pugs? I'm seeing a pug or like a bear. It's like a smushy, it's something little and like a smushy face. Some smushy little face. Okay, and that's going to be important for someone out here. So there's someone out here and I see now, because this is why I'm holding this card, which surround yourself with protective energy. They're bringing me back to the Men in Black example and how there's other people against the Men in Black. I want to say the Men in Black are probably bad people, right? I don't know, but there's like good, I'm gonna paint it out for you. There's a group of good people, a group of bad people, and then like the minority, right? And the bad people are not necessarily like actually bad people, but there's a bad person within the opposing group. So it's like you have two different, I mean, I'm it's so polarized the way I'm saying it, and I really don't like that because I don't think that that's the truth of it. What the truth is whomever you're helping, there's someone. Okay, I'm using a different example because I don't like that one. Let's say it's an elderly patient that you're taking care of, right? And so you take a different approach. You're using sounds, music, you're using smells, you have like a little sensory garden that you take them to, all of this, right? And you feel, in Reiki, whatever, you feel like what you're doing is beneficial and you're really seeing results in this. You come from a very nurturing perspective of how you're helping the elderly patients, right? This is volunteer work that you're doing. And now, because you're finally doing that, which I said finally, but it's because you haven't been doing this before. You just came up with this. You're out in the garden, you have a bunch of flowers, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have way too many. Let me go pick them and take them to the nursing home nearby. And then you find out that you have all these other things that you can do. So you start volunteering consistently, okay? And so there's one in particular that's super, super appreciative of you. That's like there's a really sweet companionship that's happening in the next 6 months that has to do with this, okay? And so then you start taking them to your sensory garden, you start doing Reiki on them, you're playing, different kinds of music, all of this, and now you have the nursing care there, right? Now the nurses, all of them are not bad people, right? They just go about things in a certain way, right? They look at it from a more medical standpoint. And so they're doing things in the way that they've been taught to do, which you come from a more holistic point of view. So you have differences in opinions of the method of which you're doing things. So you can even take that to the rainbow situation, how you're both going after the same thing, which is to help the elderly, to care for them. However, you're going two different ways about it. Now, with that being said, you are noticing some nurses who are not doing things by protocol, or they don't like the way that you're doing it. They're just not, there's a conflict there. There's some sort of conflict, and it doesn't feel like they have this arrogant air to them that it's like, here's I'm showing you. Okay, so you see how she has this blue painted on her? It's like you are the water element. That's how I'm seeing it. You are the water element. You are by nature emotional. You are by nature this water warrior. Like that is who you are. Your emotional state of being is your superpower. That is what has created you. That is who you are. Now, this is an individual that is against you. They don't like you. They don't like you. There's some lack of respect that they have for you. They're doing something that they're not supposed to do. I can equate this to, like, if we talk about nurses, and this particular nurse just sees it one way, right? She sees it like, we need to medicate them heavily. I don't want to deal with them, because if you have them less medicated, then they become unruly, and I just don't have the time or patience to deal with them. And your perspective is they're unruly because that's the way that you perceive them, when in truth, they're just trying to tell you how they're feeling, but you need to be more empathetic and receptive and try and understand what they're saying. You can't just say, I don't know what you're saying, and then medicate them. Like, you need to figure it out. And then from there, they'll be more, you just have to be patient with them, and find out what their needs are, what they desire. And then from there, let's say they're, freaking out and then you can provide them with puzzles. And it's because they have a lot of mental energy that they need to, release. And so this person doesn't like that, because it makes their job more difficult when they're looking at it from a very black and white type of way. They don't want to actually help. They just want to go to their job and go home and do their own thing. And I notice how her eyes are painted blue. So she's trying to give off this image as if she's a caring individual. And you see she's even has a turban with antlers on it. And so it's like, I am this gentle creature. I am this deer, this fawn. I don't know. I'm like licking my teeth because I'm like bubbling. My mouth is like, I know it's like, just pointing it out in case it like picked up on camera and you're looking. I have no idea why I'm doing that. I'm like drooling at this potato. I should not have used potatoes as an example. Now I want to eat the potato. Okay. Anyway, so she's trying to come off as that caregiver, that nurturing individual, right? And it's kind of easy to see that if you aren't aware, because from like the public's perception, you would say, oh, well, nurses are such a vital part of our community. They are the ones who take care of us when we're sick. They work so hard. They are underpaid. They're underappreciated. You are just, what are you? You're like a hippie, like you're gardening, you're using these, energy things. Like, what are you seeing? Like Tai Chi, like, what is that? Like, what are you doing? Like, we get that you're well-intentioned. We appreciate that. But what are you actually doing? These nurses went to school. You see how the public perception would more easily be tricked by how she is, strictly because of her position. And so it connects also to that Men in Black, because let's say the Men in Black, they're in suits, they got those fancy sunglasses, they have whatever kind of gun beams, Uzis, I don't know what they have. People would take them more seriously than like the everyday average Joe that's in blue jeans and is like trying to help, the family of Alf, that kind of thing. So there's a huge message about that. I don't think that it's a warning. I think it's more of just like, know who you are. It's like this, like you're not just a shield maiden, you're a warrior. You are a warrior. Your emotions, your passion, your desire to do right and to do good is enough. And not just enough, it is who you are. It's your superpower. Like, you are a superhero when you act from a place of integrity. You act from a place of honesty. And there is a community. You're not acting alone in this. You're not alone. In that example I used, you would be with a bunch of other Reiki masters. You would be with a bunch of other people who are helping you with this. It's not just you. You are being targeted because there's something about you that feels maybe more innocent, or just more, I don't know why you're the target of this particular individual. You know what I feel it is? You know what, I really feel this. You're a very special person. You're very intuitive, sincere, and good. You're good-natured. And the term I'm hearing, or the saying I'm hearing, is how it's more fun for twisted people to try and take down or corrupt good-natured people. It's not as entertaining or fun to take on someone who kind of has their own, it's that can fall more easily. And so they recognize something very ancient. There's something ancient, and because they're showing me Ireland and like these Celtic, it's kind of like this in the background. You can kind of see it's kind of like that, those Celtic knots, but they're taking me to Ireland. And I've been, I can't remember the places I've been, but I went to this really old place in Ireland. I've been to Ireland, and there was an old place I went to, like this old island or whatever. And they're taking me there, but they're saying it's ancient, and then they're telling me all the, I'm just seeing a lot of stuff, personal stuff for me, that's really telling me they're connecting it to this past life memory. I don't know if you have a past life connection to this individual, but it's that inner strength. It's like they can smell it on you. There's another, oh my goodness, the dove. I don't know if it's two doves. They're like bouncing back and forth on my railing out there. They're goofing around. I'm telling you this because I don't know if those are signs for you or not. They most likely are, in my opinion. But anyway, so do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. And I'm even noticing up close, her eyes are blue. I was gonna say her eyes are water because it's so ingrained in you. And that's what I'm saying, is like people can smell it on you. And it's like dark people, or people who have entertained darkness and allowed darkness to flow through them, are letting demons, essentially they're letting demons work through them, right? Because people aren't, like, your soul is not corrupt. Your soul is always whole. But it's what you allow into your system that will dictate what you let control you, right? And so people who let these demons control them, give them the faculty to move and to attack and to want to corrupt you, want to take you down. And so there's this ancient wisdom, this ancient, I'm seeing it repeated through lifetimes. It's repeated and repeated and repeated. This is deeply ingrained in you, of being some sort of emotional warrior. And they're actually taking me to another planet. They're taking me to another planet. Maybe you would know, like, I don't know what Lyra. I'm that's what I'm saying is Lyrian star system. When is that meteor shower? Has that already started? I don't know if you're connected there, but there seems to be some ancient connection to you, that you're really coming into alignment, that parallels happening in the next couple months, and that's going to, it's like recalibrating or realigning you. It's kind of like this point. It's a point of reference on your soul's journey in this life of like, it's like they're taking a pin. They're taking one of those pins, like, you know, on the maps, and you can map out like where things are happening or where you've been. They're putting a pin right there on the timeline of your life, of a point of reference. Like, this is going to be a point of reference in your life. Point right there. Okay. So thank you so much, potato number one. That's what I see for the next 6 months for you. A lot of I'm just hearing like a lot of philosophizing, because at its core, you're really coming into a huge destined point in your soul's journey and promise in this life to achieve and to work through, work on, and I'm also feeling hair. I know we talked about your hair, but I'm also seeing hair, like a man's hair, like short hair, and you like messing with his hair. I don't know if it's a man or a boy. I'm just seeing you like massaging someone's head, someone's hair. Or it's like, it's a male. I think it's a male, unless it's a girl with short hair. It's like you're massaging their hair, their head. Annie Hoodles. That's what I see, potato number one. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Hey, potato number two. So what I'm seeing for you is a deep desire to be something different. Because I'm seeing how the potato is being peeled already here, and it has these dark bruises here. I'm touching it to see if it's starting to expire, and I don't feel it is. It doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't even have a deep potato smell. I don't know if red potatoes normally do or not, but I just feel like this potato wants to go ahead and start getting peeled and start getting used. So I feel this building of energy that's coming from you, of wanting to do something completely different, or wanting to let go of an old identity that doesn't feel like it's meant for you anymore. I feel travel, right? And travel, it feels like change. It's again this distancing feeling. So if you're changing location, like changing your home, changing your environment, changing your decoration, changing your friend group, changing your job, it doesn't feel like you're necessarily changing your appearance. It feels like something surrounding you. You know, it's like painting your entire house, like something external to you, or changing your car, or again, it's you going somewhere. Like, let's say you're traveling to go to different events that are I'm also seeing church. Like, I'm seeing a church. So if you're going to church, or you're going to an old church, or you're going to the Vatican, it's this feeling of you going somewhere that has a lot of historical, religious ties. Could even be somewhere like Stonehenge, which I don't know what Stonehenge is necessarily, but, or like some sort of caverns or somewhere that has some deep roots when it comes to people's spirituality. And you're going there with the purpose of finding a deeper like your deeper identity, or who you truly are, like deepening your sense of self, and also extracting things that no longer serve you. It's really looking into your shadows, identifying your shadows, and using that as momentum to become who you feel you want to become, who you believe that you are. Finding yourself closer to knowing who you are entirely. I'm also seeing myself put this in like a potato gun, because at first I saw myself throwing, like I just want to throw the potato as far as I can throw it. And then I thought it would be a lot easier and I could go a lot faster if I just put it in a potato gun and just shot it out. And so I see that in the sense of, they're comparing it to the two tarot cards, like the Chariot and the Devil card, and how the devil, they're explaining how the Devil card can be interpreted as a little bit messy or chaotic in the pursuit of something in the physical world, right? It's following your desires and your passions, but not necessarily having a decisive plan. It's just saying, I'm passionate about this, so I'm just going to kind of dabble here, dabble there, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, and not really complete anything, or kind of go into it messy and not have quite a good plan of what I'm going to exactly execute. I'm just kind of going with it, right? Going with my desires. With the Chariot, they're saying that that's in my mind, that's what I'm seeing right now, is they're saying that that's the counterpart of the Devil, in the sense that the Chariot is having a forward momentum with a plan of action, and it's the balance of your desires and the balance of like a purpose. So it's this purpose driven, passion driven chariot moving towards something that you may not necessarily see the end of it, you know, what your end goal is, or not even have an end goal, but you have a desire and you're going to go about it in a more practical way. So another example they're showing me is, if you're wanting to travel somewhere, it's saying, okay, well then I'm going to make a itinerary for myself. I'm not just going to go to, isn't Stonehenge on an island in Ireland, or is it in England? I don't know. I think it's on an island though, somewhere. Anyway, I would go there and I would lick one of those rocks. I would lick it. So anyway, I see you saying, okay, for example, I want to go to Stonehenge. Well, I'm going to go there for 7 days because now I can save money, make the plan, and what am I going to do between that time? How can I allocate my time best? Because my purpose in going there is because I feel like there's some answer for me there. And so then you find, you know, some super old church that you might be interested in. You're like, I'm going to go to, you know, it will be a Catholic church, so I'll go to mass that day just so I can be like in that energy, right? Like in that meditation. I want to see stained glass. I want to see all of that, like architecture. So you're planning it out. And it's unveiling something. It's unveiling blocks. It's like this mental block, or, you know, it's like if you have like a spiritual block, a heart block, some sort of block that you created, and you're discovering that. You're discovering how you played a part in creating some sort of block in your life. Yeah, the next 6 months is deeply, deeply introspective, but it's in a controlled, calculated, productive way. You can, because I'm also seeing journaling. So you could be journaling a lot these next 6 months, and the way that you're journaling is having writing prompts, like specific writing prompts that are going to get you to map out just like a deeper thinking into your life and how you became who you are, and even looking at like the future, like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, 3 years, 3 months, and making plans of how you want to embody the person or the lifestyle that you envision you or your lifestyle to become. I'm also seeing a radar. It's not necessarily a radar, but like target, because they're showing me a drone. They're actually, I don't know, I have a drone. A lot of military use like better drones than this. They're actually cracking down on drones like this. But I have a drone, it tracks people, or it can track you. And so you could just like walk around and it'll follow you and everything. And so they're showing me my drone. And so I don't know if you have a drone like that, or if you're gonna be around a drone like that for some reason where it's tracking you. I don't see this in a intimidating, creepy way. There's not like some stalking behavior that I'm seeing. I'm not picking up on that. I'm seeing it as a repetition of a targeted intention, but also how you're going to be watched. I don't know if you are publicizing your progress, publicizing your travels. Because they're asking me, they're like, what was I thinking about recently about my drone, right? Recently I was thinking how I wanted to take it to different parks, but that's illegal unless you have a permit to take it to state parks. And so I don't know if you're traveling to different state parks in the next 6 months, or you're going to make plans to go to different parks. And that I think that I'm getting a lot closer, because they're showing me you're being watched by wildlife. And also that would be a warning to like be careful, you know, like when you're out, to be careful, like be careful of cougars, or be careful of bears, or be careful of some sort of wildlife that might be tracking you. So just be cautious and be protected, like have protection on you. But then they're saying that you're a bit of an enigma. So I don't know if it's kind of like if you're out traveling in the woods and wildlife is looking at you and they're kind of like wondering about you. They're just curious. They're just curious about you. So I don't think that you're going to be in any danger. It's good to be aware, but maybe you'll have some sort of encounter that might seem intimidating, right? Like if you have a random drone stalking you, following you, that might be intimidating and confusing and stressful, but it might just be some curious kid watching you, right? And the same thing with this animal energy where they might be following you, or like a fox. You know, I have a lot of fox follow me when I'm out and about, and they're just very, very curious. They want to see what's going on, and so that's kind of what I'm feeling here. Something's going to be wondering about you, but they don't necessarily mean any harm when you're out and about. Something about your thighs too. I don't know if you're working out, if you're going to be exposing your thighs in some way. There's just this complimentary feeling around your thighs, like you have really nice thighs. I think you're being, and when I said that, the devil came out, which we were talking about. So I feel like I'll take these. Look, the fox at the bottom in the deck. Maybe you have a little foxy. Oh, foxy. Maybe you're really, that's what I was gonna say anyway. I just didn't have the word foxy, but you're being tempted a lot by people who find you very attractive. Like you're very attractive to a lot of people in the next 6 months. You're gonna have a lot of people looking at you and wanting to, again, it's a tempting feeling. So I could even take this as an example of you feeling like, you know what, these next 6 months I'm focusing on myself, right? And my shadows, some inner work, some deep inner work. And then lo and behold, all these people are trying to get your attention, and you're like, ladies, gentlemen, let's slow down here, okay? I don't have time. I'm working on myself. I appreciate, you know, all your compliments and wanting to take me out and, you know, and enjoy a couple things here and there, but, you know, it's up to you whether you want to stand your ground and move in another direction, you know, or do you want to stay rooted and grounded in the way that you have been, right? So it's kind of these choices that you're getting. It feels like if you continue to resist temptation to do things that were a little less productive for you in the last, prior to these 6 months, because it feels like you've made the decision on your own to do this, and so these temptations are kind of coming in some form to really see how serious you are of progress and growth. But it's showing you're going to have a lot of rewards for that, right? The apple doesn't just show up on the tree. Like, it takes time. It takes time to develop and grow. Sometimes it takes a lot of nurturing if it's a new tree, right? And so just know to keep your eyes on the prize and keep going, and you're going to have And you're going to have an experience. I'm seeing the 7-month mark. I mean, don't really take the time to heart too seriously. But when I saw 7 and I felt 7 months, and as I said that, and then I said don't take it to heart, it pulled me away from that. It's like don't complete that sentence, even though I did. Because then it's like my heart just starts filling up. It's like this filling. It's like there, it almost feels like there was a void that I didn't realize there was, and it's just filled up with love. And so it's this feeling that at the 7-month mark, your heart is going to really feel full. Wow, okay. Let's see what these are. Surround yourself with protective energy, retreat and recharge, take care of your needs. So that's more repeating. Like, you need to protect your energy from temptation, from distraction. When you need to retreat and recharge, you need to take care of your own needs, right? And don't allow yourself to slip. That those experiences, you don't have to have that fear of missing out. Those things can come back around. Your friends, your people, your core group, all of that will still be there if you so choose to return to that type of lifestyle, or whatever it is that you need. Maybe you have to go on a spiritual retreat. Like, it's fine. You're not going to be missing out on anything. Your friends still love you, kind of thing. They're still going to be there for you. And you're actually, I feel, creating memories and friends with new people that are, it's like a niche group. So whatever it is that you're doing, you're creating an additional friend group that revolves around that particular thing. Temperance, it's balance. You're balancing. This kind of looks like a bad boy energy. And so it's this feeling where it's a feeling where they're saying how the sun and the moon work in tandem for the earth, right? And how they couldn't live without each other. So it's like your experience, or who you are, who you're becoming, couldn't happen if you didn't have some sort of experiences that you've had in the past. And so you're seeing how that makes you more aware, that makes you strong, that makes you so I feel renewed. It's like, how can I be renewed if I wasn't something else? Like, to renew something means that you had to be something else, and then returning to that original state. It kind of, it's like a rebirth, like a spiritual return or spiritual upgrade. I feel like you're doing a lot of research at this time too, and that's what's drawing you to these different experiences or places, is because you're wanting to immerse yourself in this culture or immerse yourself in this energy, right? So let's say you're reading about Catholicism, or you're reading about Freemasonry, or I don't know, whatever, and then you're like, I'm gonna go to the Vatican and actually be there, and I'm gonna attend mass there, or I'm gonna attend some sort of event there, some Christmas thing, I don't know. Or if you're reading about Stonehenge, and then you're like, I'm going to go there. So it's this immersion. Or Spain, you know, it's like you're learning Spanish. And you're not holding yourself. That's the next 6 months. Is, you see, it's almost this nightmarish experience, and all these crows almost seem haunting, but there's this shadow of a white crow right here. And so what I feel here is a sense of admiration for yourself, where you aren't allowing any sort of past experiences or behavior to hold you down. It's like you're holding yourself accountable for your own life. You're holding yourself responsible for your own life and your own decisions. And you're recognizing how to kind of look at your past in a more neutral state, where you can be gracious with yourself and kind of respect who you were in the past. And I'm seeing how you're capable, the 9 of Cups here, you're capable of achieving and embodying what it is that you dream of having and being. It's like you're reaching for all of these cups. You're reaching for these, like I'm seeing the cups as like experiences and options and ideas, and you're seeing that it's possible. You can reach for it. You're very happy about that. I see you going to a reader. I see you getting a private reading, whether this is at some event like a fair, psychic fair, or you're reaching out to someone online, or you see a psychic shop and you're going there. And it's this question you have of if you can trust them, or you can trust what they said. And you can. I'm hearing that you can. But you're going to feel guarded. You're going to be skeptical. It's like you don't know if they're reading you. So I feel like it's more, I'm not sure how this would translate on someone online, other than like you thinking that they researched you. Because I just feel like with her reflection here and her being tied here, it's this feeling like, are they reading me? Like as like they're kind of evaluating me, they're sizing me up, and that's how they're getting this. Like they just have like they're judging me from my appearance, or they're judging me by something that they found online, like something like that, where you're not trusting where they got this information because it seems accurate. And it feels like they even say some sort of predictive information for you, and you're not quite sure how you feel about it, because then you don't really trust the source necessarily. So how can you trust that other part? And all of those kind of feelings, it feels like that feeling, because I'm getting on another subject. But anyway, the message is that you can trust them. Especially because they have an important message for you. They have an important message that they're relaying to you about a time to take action on something. You know, maybe they're picking out how there is some sort of movement, travel, change, abrupt movement happening in your life, and when to particularly take action on something, or how that's kind of evolving for you. And that's going to be very important here. I'm also seeing with this new community of people, I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure if it's a new community of friends, these people, or it's your old friends, but I'm seeing blurriness. It's like stars, right? The stars, and how it's kind of foggy. So you're not seeing something clearly, but you're trying to look at something clearly. You're trying to see it something clearly. So this could be literal, like you guys are out camping or something and you're trying to stargaze and you can't see clearly that night. Or you're trying to envision something, you're trying to work on something, but you don't clearly see how it's going to pan out. Or if this is something to do with your past group of friends, like your more familiar friends, then it feels like you aren't seeing something clearly with that. Let's try and get confirmation. It feels like something that's kind of disappointing, that you're not, yeah, 8 of Cups and the Fool and the Tower. It's something to do with a disappointment. It could even be something financial. I'm not sure how this relates to people. Like maybe it's something that you try to, like a startup with some people from your past or something. I can't tell if it's who it's connected to, if it's past or future people. But it's like a startup that doesn't or didn't seem to take off. And what's being told is that was meant to not pan out the way that you would expect it. Because it feels like you're meant to do something else, because it feels like you weren't necessarily loyal to that idea. And you weren't completely committed. You were excited about it. The energy surrounding it was very exciting. The momentum building around it was very exciting. But you weren't necessarily totally invested. And they are giving me the example of how oftentimes, it's not a good idea to have businesses with people that you're friends with or related to. Not always, but I think in this circumstance, that's kind of the key here, is because you don't want to spoil these connections. You don't want to kind of let that bleed through into your interpersonal relationships, because you want to have some form of separation, so you're not always invested in that particular job or whatever business idea. And so it's okay to kind of come up with different ideas or stir stir up different things that you might want to do. But the one thing that's really going to work for you, or has worked for you, or should work for you, so if you so choose to reach for it with the Nine of Cups, for you to reach for it, is something completely independent of these individuals. That's why it never really took off. That's why you couldn't really see clearly with that. It feels like it's going to be, it's a very desirable, like what's actually going to work for you is a very desirable opportunity. It's very small. I'm seeing, I don't know how to say the flower, but what's the flower? It's like a carnation. Carnations are kind of small, or dianthus. Like those are very small too, unless it's also a carnation. But I'm just seeing small, but very potent. The smell is very potent on this flower. And so if you look at it, you might say, oh, those are really cute, whatever. But that when that smell hits you, it's like overpowering. It's like, wow, 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 wow. And it's kind of that feeling that I'm getting with, I don't know if my mouth is bubbling on camera. It was bubbling for the second one. And the word I was actually going to say too, I started thinking about watermelon, so maybe I'm like drooling. Maybe I need to eat something before I record. I was thinking the word delicious, and I was thinking about watermelon and how juicy a big watermelon is. And you think about like it growing on the vine and just watching it, and you can smell the exterior of this watermelon. Are you the one that I tried to smell your potato? Yeah, it's like, it's kind of like you couldn't smell the potato when it comes to that last business venture. But the watermelon you can smell. You can smell the outside of that. Smells so good. And it's refreshing. And I just see that as being high value, high potential to succeed. And it will take you on a completely different path than you had expected. It's like completely different, like totally different than what you had planned with these people, if that resonates for you. And you're going to be relieved. You're going to be relieved reflecting on this. Whatever didn't work out for you. This could even be a trip. It might not even be a business venture. It could be like an expensive trip that you're going to go on with someone, and then you decided to go on something completely different, random. And you're going to be relieved that it didn't work out when you look back, because you're like, if I expended all of my time, my resources, my money on going on this trip, then I wouldn't have come up with the idea to go on this other trip. And this other trip really changed my life, and changed everything for me. It's like a life-changing experience. And so I can see why that didn't work out, and I can see why that idea came to fruition, because that propelled me into wanting to do this other thing, or it just kind of, somehow aligned itself at the right time, and it makes a lot more sense, and I'm really grateful for that. Okay, I want to pull one more card for you. I'm hearing the time is near. And it's just interesting because when I see this card, sometimes I think about someone who's spying on you. And we talked about like that following energy, that curious energy. So I'm seeing a blend of that coming through, and then I'm seeing the sword wanting to be drawn, and this feeling of like, again, preparing yourself to draw the sword because you don't want it tangled in your, it looks like it's in his clothing, it looks like his dressage is tangled in there, so you don't want that to happen, because timing is everything. And also to kind of, they're showing me like him kind of making himself big, like, you know, if you're out in the wild and you have to make yourself big to scare an animal. And so he's like showing his sword, like, you really don't want to mess with me, like I'm really about it, I can do this, you know. It's like this practice, like he's been practicing pulling out the sword, so he is very fast at pulling it out, but it just seems more of like a threat. So it's this feeling like you the next 6 months to show what you're made of, right? Like don't play small in anything that you do, but do it appropriately, right? Because you don't want to buck up against maybe a brown bear. You don't want to buck up against that, but a black bear you want to buck up against. So be appropriate in showing off who you really are, not in like an egotistical way, but don't play small. And the time is near for you to, it's like this performance, it feels like a performance. The time's near to really show what you're made of. It's like something within yourself, right? Something within yourself, because I'm seeing this what's he sitting on, this throne with the butterfly. It's like he didn't put caterpillars, he didn't put cocoon, you know, he's the butterfly. He's already gone through all these processes. So get ready to show, you know, and perform, right? You are this butterfly. And I'm also seeing like these birds coming in. Some birds eat insects, right? They eat the butterfly. But when they see you, you are not only nasty, like they're not gonna like the way that you taste, but you have markings that are very scary to these birds. So there's gonna be a point in the next 6 months where you're really gonna show what you're made of. And that, this feels very good. You're gonna feel very good about this. You're gonna be very, I want to say honored, because you're drawing from your past. Because as a caterpillar, you were eating a lot of plants that develop this like nasty taste in you, right? And then genetically, those markings are from your parents. And then, you know, the way that you shaded yourself has intensified the colors, like all of these things, where this internal work and understanding of who you are and why you are the way you are is going to come to the forefront when you're being represented or being seen, or challenged. But it feels like the challenge would be like if you're being interviewed, right? It'd be something like that. It's not like they're actually trying to combat you, but you have to show, you know, in that point, what you're made of, who you are, why you are the way you are. And that's also kind of pulling back to where I was saying how you honor your past and you respect your past and you respect your decisions and so on and so forth. So I think this is the biggest theme for you, is the Fool card. Really this complete new beginning, refresh, to be determined based on what you reach for, which cup you reach for, as to what happens and at the pace that it happens beyond the 6 months. It feels like you have a lot of avenues of choice within the realm of what is possible, obviously, in your life, but there's a lot of different choices that you can make. And so best of luck to you. Sounds very exciting. Okay, so thank you so much, potato number 2, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hi, potato number 3. So as I'm looking at you, I'm sorry, you're not the potato. I'm looking at your potato. I'm hearing all hands on deck. And if you don't know what that means, essentially it's a cry for help on a boat or a ship where all the crewmen need to get on deck and help with this emergency. And I'm feeling like, okay, I'll tell you, I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I want to interrupt. I'm also seeing this potato seems kind of dry. It has these cracks in it. So I'm hearing to take care of your skin. For some of you, you need to like moisturize for the next 6 months. You probably don't need to moisturize extensively that long, but maybe you'll do some sort of deep skincare routine, and you know, over the next 6 months you'll see some drastic improvement. You might also have a lot of sensitive skin. I know I do. I've been breaking out like crazy, and so maybe you're changing something within your routine, because for me it's like harsh water, especially when I travel, which I've been traveling in between me recording constantly, and so the different environments can really disrupt my skin. And so I'm seeing some sort of healing when it comes to your skin, or something to do with the way that you maybe use products or apply products, the product itself, something changing there, maybe moving into a more like less chemically based type of products, something like that. But going back to this emergency that I'm seeing, is it doesn't seem like a real emergency. It's kind of funny to me because it feels like you're gonna have this like crazy vision or like experience, like you see a UFO and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And you start like telling everyone, or you're with people, and you're like, what was that? What just happened? What did I just experience? You got to tell me what's going on here. What's up? And I'm just seeing like all the eyes on here, the eyes of the potato. It's like the all-seeing eye. Like you're seeing something spiritually very clearly in a way that you hadn't seen before, or you know, like your ESP is intensifying, or some sort of experience from some other planet, you know, or maybe there's some sort of alien. I know NASA, I'm recording this, I don't know, it's June 1st I'm recording this, so I know NASA has some sort of announcement. I didn't pay attention, I didn't ask anyone or anything, but it's like it would be some sort of mind-blowing information, but it feels more firsthand. So it'd be like that would be the foretelling of an experience, right? So it's like you hearing what NASA is like, hey, you know, we know there's something out there. Anyway, moving on. And then you're like, something don't feel right. And then I want to say like 2 or 3 months into your next 6 months. No, it's like sooner than, it's like 1 or 2 months probably. And you're having that experience and it like freaks you out, but it's very, very exciting. It gives you a lot of information about something. It's like all encompassing somehow. So it has to do with you, it has to do with other worlds, it has to do with other beings outside of this world, it has to do with the dream state, it has to do with reincarnation, it has to do with just like literally just everything somehow. And I'm also seeing like it kind of looks like there's divots in here. It kind of reminds me of an asteroid. So I don't know, like maybe there'll be some sort of asteroid or meteor shower or a meteorite that you might get your hands on. I don't own any meteorites. I talked about this briefly, how I would lick Stonehenge in the other pile. And I don't have a meteorite because I feel like I would put it in my mouth. I would just know what it's like to put something millions and millions and potentially billions from some other place into my mouth. And sure enough, I would, you know, get sick. So I don't allow that stuff into my vicinity. And if you have one and you ever bring it around me, you better keep it in a case or it's gonna go in my mouth. So anyway, I'm seeing something like that, where what is that one that everyone has now? Is that little green thing? Anyway, like maybe you have one or you're gonna get a hold of one, or it's like it like, you know, you pick up information from it, just, but it's not prompted. I don't see this happening because you're doing something, like, because you're not gonna, like, let's say you go to some UFO tour or something, or like out looking, scouting for aliens, like you're not gonna see it then. It comes to you when the timing's right. And it's supposed to be at a time where you're more receptive of it. So I feel like you seeking this out is kind of repelling this information or this experience or this energy, these people or beings from you. It's repelling because you're like trying to reach for it, you're trying to chase after it. So that receptivity is you being in a more relaxed, neutral, not overthinking it, because it's going to be unexpected and totally catch you off guard. And I've been thinking about this for quite some time. It's reminded me of this. And I've never said this before, but like I got this shot. Okay, I got a shot and I think about this shot so often. It's just like stamped into my memory because it was like multiple shots, you know, like that. And that's what I'm seeing. Where like you're not gonna get multiple, I'm not seeing you getting a shot. I'm just seeing like no one's going to be able to give you the answers that you're looking for. I don't see you actually like panicking. Okay, here let me tell a whole story of what I don't know how it's really going to connect. I guess I don't know why I saw that. If somehow it's somehow connecting, we'll see. Where you're like all hands on deck, this emergency, what the heck did I just see, what did I experience, what's up? And no one is giving you a clear enough answer. Like, even if they're giving you something, it's not enough, it's not good enough. You're like, I know, like there's something within you that needs to kind of grasp it fully, right? And so it's like the next, so let's say that's that's from the 1 to 2 month mark, right? So then the 2 to 3, or the, wait, that'd be the 1 to 3 month mark. And then somewhere from the 3 to 4.5 month mark is you thinking about it, trying to see like the interconnectedness, like something interwoven about it. And then towards the 6 month mark, so like the 4.5 to 6 month mark, it's like coming full circle. It could also be for those of you who are looking to conceive, or you are pregnant, then a birth, or what I'm seeing is you finding out you're pregnant or your partner's pregnant, because I can see how that feels like. It's like otherworldly. Obviously you're creating a living being, and yet that soul, right, who embodies that newborn is from the ethers, right? There's this angelic baby, and how it comes to fruition and all of that, right? And then you see, it's kind of like you see infinity, you see forever, you see that connectedness of you and your partner in this baby, right? Or if you're fostering or adopting a baby, then you can see like how everything kind of came together in order to have this deep connection, extension of your family and your love to this being, this person. Feels, because it feels like you're unsure, or you're trying to understand, you're trying to wrap your mind around something that almost feels bigger than you, right? Like even God himself, God itself is beyond rational mind, rational thought, rational understanding, human understanding. Love is overwhelmingly pure, and it's almost beyond the human conception, conceptualization. I don't know if conception is a word, but because I'm just seeing this energy of a ripple, like rippling, and it's a constant. It's that constant unfolding, that constant discovery, that constant motion, right? It's like I'm just seeing a person looking out into the ocean and seeing the waves crashing and pulling back in. It's like, wow, the energy, the momentum, the capacity of the ocean to constantly be able to toss its waves to the shore and get reabsorbed into itself, and how it never runs out. Like it's been here for eons and eons, and how just how amazing that is, how beautiful that is, how interesting that is, how it's hard to kind of it's kind of hard to imagine. And yet something in that is the key to a deeper understanding of something. Here's the Empress who's pregnant. You could also be meeting, you're either meeting like a partner, a forever partner, you know. Here's the King of Cups here, a forever partner, a serious partner, or you're deepening your connection with your partner. It feels like a really good pairing here. These feel like counterparts to me, in the sense that it's a king and queen. He's of the shores and she is, or he's of the ocean, she's of the shore. They both nurture each other. She needs the water and he needs the land in order to exist as Earth itself. And there's the pull of the moon. I feel like this is so vague. It's like something to do with the sun and the moon's alignment and how there's going to be something very important that happens there. Let me look something up. Okay, I looked up the astrological sign because I feel like that's where it's bringing me to, of the Queen of Pentacles. It says Capricorn. Okay, so the planet Saturn, December 20th to January 21st. Okay, so there's something there with the planetary alignments, and how that's associated here with something that's momentous that's happening for you. It feels like it's deeply connected to what you feel you're capable of accomplishing. Okay, it's going to help you realize something it's going to make you very emotional, but that emotion is going to be empowering for you because it makes you see the divinity in you. There's something that changes in the way that you perceive yourself and how divine you truly are, and how momentous it is for you to even exist right now in this life at this very moment, or in that very moment. It's really going to be this I'm also seeing the mimosa tree, and so I don't know if mimosas are supposed to be what's highlighted here for some of you, but the mimosa tree in a lot of places is invasive, right? But they're so cute. They have those little feathery flowers on it. It looks very tropical. And so I'm seeing how you have a lot of staying power. It's like you've earned your right in a particular place, and so that's being concreted into your life, into your future. So if this is like a job where you have really earned your place there, earned your respect, you're being valued for your contributions, and you're getting some sort of recognition for that. That's mostly what I see, is you're being recognized for some sort of work that you've put in. This could even be like some sort of graduation, or you know, if you publish a book, something like that, because it feels very much related to your expertise and your education. Okay, and so what I'm talking about with the counterparts here is he is emotional, right? And then she is very practical. And so that's a really good pair, because you want someone who is going to be able to kind of balance, you know, the checks and balances, and be kind of more present and grounded in the world and what needs to get done. And then someone who is, you know, connected to their emotions, who isn't, you know, someone who isn't available, emotionally available, or willing to be vulnerable. This figure right here, the King of Cups, is someone who is willing to be vulnerable and to also, I feel, explore and accept different, feels like a different lifestyle, or it's like you two are one and the same, but you're also very different. Like, she's like this sexy little beta fish, and that's you. Whether you're a male or female, I mean, the sexy beta fish are male, so, you know. I mean, they're not like, I don't think they're sexy. I mean, they are sexy, but, you know, I'm not attracted to beta fish, but they are very sexy. And then he's like this little goldfish or whatever, but then I also see that his necklace, I used to have this keychain, I bet they still sell it on like Alibaba or something, where they can move, and they're very pretty. They look like a koi fish, right, or something else where it's like gold painted. I need to find those. I like those a lot. But anyway, so he looks like this little fishy, and so they're both fish. Why am I drooling? This is you're the third pile, and I'm still drooling, or like bubbling out of my teeth. Anyway, my excuse for this pile is because I'm talking about fish, so I'm like bubbling like a fish. I have no idea why I'm doing that. Anyway, but that's what I'm seeing, is you're very similar, but also very different. And it plays, you play, what is it called when you like play with each other, or you play against each other? You play apart, you play together very well. What is that called? You know what I'm saying. You work well together is what I'm trying to say. I'm seeing that very, 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 very strongly, because like he's in here, he's like floating. It looks like he's floating on water, and that can take a lot of energy, and it's kind of pointless in my opinion. When she has like a conch shell or some sort of shell, you know, that's just sitting out in the ground in the yard, and that's also pointless. So it's when you put it together, he has somewhere to sit and she has more room to do whatever she wants to do. So you guys work really, 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 really well together. I can also see that all hands on deck kind of feeling. It's like you meeting someone and it like really being an important relationship here, and you being like, what is going on? You asking around, you know, about this person. You're trying to find out more about this person. You're trying to figure out these feelings here, and you know, you don't really know, like until you go through it, right? Like whatever they can say whatever they want, but that's still not enough until you actually start experiencing it. It feels like a roller coaster. So I don't know if you're actually going to go somewhere with the roller coasters. But that's also kind of that feeling I'm getting, this roller coaster ride with them, where it's like you don't know what to expect, but it's fun. It's fun once you actually get on it and you get safely strapped in. This is a safe roller coaster, okay? This isn't one of those Disney World roller coasters. That's not funny, but anyway. You're meeting someone, or this is like a deepening of a connection with someone that is a viable partner for you, romantic partner, because I feel like this person is mysterious, or they're just like, they give me this like soulful vibe where they're again open-minded, and you can like I'm seeing, like you can see forever in their eyes. I see that in the potato. You can see forever in the eyes of that potato. And they know a lot. They're very intuitive and philosophical, and they know a lot about history or like ancient practices. They know how to like handle you is what I'm hearing. So it's like any sort of like nuances that you have that maybe previous partners didn't really know how to understand you or handle that, this person just really sees you, and like they're romantic. They really want to romanticize or seduce your soul, like not just you mentally or like physically. It's like they want to touch your soul, and they want to connect soul to soul. This person's like super, super deep, and it feels opposite of you in some ways, because it's something that you would want, but you haven't had it like you've had with this person, and it's a lot more satisfying and gratifying with them, because just their air it works. It's like, who am I seeing? I'm seeing like someone with like dreads. You know, like just someone that's like really like it's like dreads, but then I can kind of hear like R&B, and then I can hear reggae. So it's like this mix of that where it's not all of one, you know, it's not like stereotypical whatever. Like they're not corny in a bad way. Like corny can be very good. I like corny, but it's not corny in a bad way. It's not corny at all. It's like genuine, right? It's corny when someone tries to be something that they're not. They don't have that depth to them. It doesn't match who they really are, right? It's just a facade or whatever. They're using it as a style, right? And this person's like, it's their style because that's who they are, right? It's just an outer reflection of exactly who they are. And they're very particular about who they let into their life. And you are also very particular, but I just see you as like playful, fun, cute, just like kind of like you're intelligent, but imaginative. So not only are you seeing like this professional environment, so not only are you like a professional, like intelligent in that kind of way, but even in your imagination, you're very intelligent. And then you also have a lot of like stressful energy though when it comes to your thoughts. Maybe anxiousness or just kind of like a busy mind. Or you're always trying to you're always doing something. It's kind of what it feels like. You're always doing something. And then this person's like very calming. And so it's this balance between you two that just works. And they really touch your soul. And it's like a power couple because you cover everything. You cover everything. You cover one spectrum to the other spectrum, and it works. Like both of you work for like how you are. You're very genuine in the way that you present yourself, and then that like clashing between you two is just like crazy, explosive, gorgeous, beautiful, exciting, magical. Because I'm seeing like the power couple again. Like it's like what people want. It's like that's what I want in a relationship, or that's what I want in a partner. That's what I see as like this is like when people are like, you guys are gonna get married, you guys are meant to be, like that's just perfect. And I feel like you saw this, like you predicted this. I mean, you could have had someone, like if you went to a psychic, you went to a tarot, you went somewhere or something, and maybe they would have said something, they would have predicted it for you, but then you would, like it would be them saying it, and then you had this like vision, you know, of like seeing something or some quality about them, and it matched, or it just connected, and then it happened. You're like, I knew this was gonna happen. Or it's like a dream you've always had, right? And that dream was actually, you know, you intuitively knowing. No. There was one that jumped and tried to come out, and then I kept going. I got it. You want to know what it is? It's Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. Someone. Trust in higher forces. Unleash the wild within. Reach your protection. Drop your shields. Yeah. That's that distrusting energy that I'm feeling, or like you kind of being like a little bit on guard. But your soul is telling you to entertain this. Your soul is telling you to follow this. Your soul is telling you to give this a chance, or to it's leading you somewhere. That's what I'm feeling. Is like I'm seeing this person like it's like their chest, they're like floating, they're like being pulled somewhere, and it's just like you're kind of having this out of body experience, you know, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the farmer's market today and pick out some apples. And you're like, why? Like you're not even thinking why, you're just like doing it. You're following the voice of your soul, right? And it leads you to this person, or you leads you to this experience, and you're like, whoa. See, take note of intuitive messages. And I told you, it's something to do with the full moon, or like a moon cycle, and then what did I say, Capricorn or something. look into, there's something that's happening in the next 6 months in some sort of planetary alignment that's going to start this up. See, look, there's your man or your woman or you. There's that dreaded guy. I'm just, because I keep hearing echoes, like it's echoing, and then I looked here again, and he's in a cave. It's like this echoing feeling. I don't know if you're going to be listening to like meditation music, if you're going to be listening to like chants, like chanting. You know, they have like a spiritual chant. I don't know. It's like chant, like just, or meditating. Like if you're in a group meditation or something, you know, or you're doing yoga, something, and I don't know. It's like it's this like, maybe like headphones, like you're wearing headphones, you know, like noise cancellation headphones, because it just feels like this echoing feeling. But that's a separate message. That's totally separate. So that's just something else that maybe you're gonna be getting new headphones. Maybe you're gonna do some chants or listen to meditation music. You're gonna deepen your meditative practice. Something with that feeling, that sound. Maybe you're gonna go cave diving, cave exploring, Tennessee or something, or wherever it is in different countries. So some of you, I feel like you're going to receive some sort of, I don't know if it's an inheritance or a gift that feels old. It's like something passed down. So it would be a used item, but it's something very beautiful and precious. Like I'm hearing the word precious. It's very precious and symbolic or significant in some way. I'm also seeing jewelry, like you know how people have dermals? I'm seeing something like that. So I don't know if you're actually getting dermals, you're getting some sort of like tattoo, or you're getting a piercing, or like if you're like checking on your health, you know, so you're doing that. But it feels like it's a good thing. So you're not doing it because something harmful's happened to you. It's like you're doing something to your body, like you're putting something on your body that I don't know, it's like it's highlighting something about you, it's showing something off about you. So it's like if you put a new necklace on and it like highlights that particular part of your area. You put a tattoo and it shows like definition. You know, it's something to do with highlighting. So or put like something in your hair, you know, like little beads or something, and it's like showcasing like the framing of your face, like something like that. And I'm seeing digging, like you're digging. So I don't know, but it feels like you're digging in the sand. So it's like maybe you're going to the beach, or you're because I think it's two things. So some of you're going to the beach, also, or something with sandy, like some sandy area, a lot of sediment around there. But I'm also seeing it as you're intensifying your intuition, like you're deepening your intuition in a more verbal way. So it's like the more that you speak what you are feeling, the more it's going to intensify, because you're releasing it out. You're releasing what you feel out. You're speaking your mind, so it's allowing yourself to kind of like not expend so much energy holding it in. Now more information can flow into you. And so there's a deepening there of your intuition. And I'm seeing with this owl that is flying on here and ringing the bells. And that's repeating again to remind you, don't forget that there's going to be this momentous experience that's essentially ringing the bells, and it's going to stir you into this next path that I see you going down the next 6 months. It's a very inspiring path, and exciting next 6 months for you that seem to showcase the love that allows you to let your guard down a bit. Yeah. This is what I'm seeing, is that you're learning to let go of control. You're learning to kind of like, it's like how to practice letting the future kind of unfold naturally without having to plan too and adhere to it too strictly, because you can see how that may harm you, and it can kind of harm what can naturally happen, right? So let's use that farmer's market example. It catches you off guard that you do that, because normally on Saturdays you will go get coffee and you will go straight to the gym. Like you're very punctual, you stick to the plan, you don't like to deviate from it. And yet for some reason, a song came on the radio and you let your mind wander, you weren't paying attention, and you intuitively kind of like, without thinking, drove to the farmer's market to go get apples. And you're like, I can't believe I did that. That's so crazy. And so you can see how there could be an active balance between allowing yourself that deviation to kind of, freestyle your life. It doesn't have to be so strict and so structured. And you're seeing how that's actually helping you calm your mind. So the next 6 months, your mind is coming into a more calm place because you're allowing that to happen a little bit. Also with the help of this other individual and just the way that they kind of carry themselves. And you can see like it worked out perfectly for them. So that's a good example that you're safe being able to let your guard down a little bit and loosen the reins on having such a strict control over what you're doing or your future plans. And I'm seeing a lot of friendly competition. Like with the 5, I feel like you and this person are going to have a lot of friendly competition here. You learn a lot from each other, and there's just a lot of playful energy here, and it feels like it's changing. It changes both of you, right? They become a little bit like you become a little bit more like them, and it's all in good fun, right? Your teasing is all in good fun. I don't see a lot of arguments here. It doesn't seem like you seem avoidant of that kind of stuff, and they seem like they're someone who wants to get to the bottom of it right then. So it's like, we're not avoiding it, we're not running from it, we're not fighting. I want to hear where you come from, and I want you to know where I come from. We want to come to a conclusion, and you're like, this is what I need. You know, it's primo. So I almost grabbed the other potatoes to show off the other potatoes. We don't need to do that. I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much, potato number 3, and I will see you guys in sorry, hold on. I just want to say, so I don't know with this story if there's someone from the past, because I'm seeing one of these boats on here. I showed you there's a boat on fire. That's what it looks like to me. It's pointing out that it's on fire. And so it's something from your past that in these next 6 months you're allowing to burn to the ground. It's like, I'm only going to concentrate on one particular thing, whether this is like your partner and someone from the past you're totally just letting go of, or it's a behavior, or it's a way of being that you are deciding, I'm going to put a lot of time and energy into this way of being or this person, and I'm not going to let myself be deterred or distracted by anything else here. I'm gonna focus on this because it hurt me in the past, and I don't want to have to keep repairing something that hadn't been working. I want to completely let that go and concentrate on something new, something, because it feels small, like the boat feels smaller, but it's more of the perspective. It feels smaller because of the way that it's coming towards you, right? The other thing that you're okay, hold on. So I'm showing you the 2 boats, right? And so this boat, this is the one that's on fire. It looks bigger because it's angled to the side. It's chaotic in this rocky shores, or these rocky waves. And this one looks smaller, but it's because it's facing forward. It's coming straight for you. So it's not actually smaller. It's just the perspective that you're looking at it, right? It just, so when it's very confusing because you're looking at this one, it's bigger, it's on fire. Normally I would take care of that, and then now I don't have time for this one. Or I would just let it do its own thing because it's got itself handled. It's like, I'm going to let that go and I'm going to concentrate on this. And that's when you recognize, oh, well, this thing is stable. This thing's coming towards me. This thing has everything in order. And you don't quite see the magnitude, the size of this boat. You don't quite see it because you're seeing things differently. you're kind of seeing whether or not that even really matters. The size of the boat really matters or not. And you're in for a beautiful, beautiful surprise. And potentially a baby. Okay, so that's what I see for you, potato number 3. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.